I remember I was at Champions Course during the summer, and we just got out of the training, and I get a phone call from my brother, and I'm already living with my mom at the time, and my brother leaves a message because I couldn't answer the phone, and he was saying, "Hey man, there's an accusation that you, somebody's saying your name molested one of the kids at the daycare." And I remember just going to my car and I was just crying. And because the first thing that enters my mind is, man, like I got all this stuff going for me, and why are these people accusing me of this?
Right.
And I hurry home and I tell my mom, and she just lost for words. She couldn't believe it. She's like, why is somebody accusing Greg of this?
It's
And
unthinkable, right? Like
it's
she couldn't.
unthinkable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was devastating. It was terrifying. It was so heartbreaking.
Mm,
And I I got to a point where like I was throwing up, man. Like
yeah.
I couldn't handle the emotions that I was feeling. I've never felt those emotions. And so
How long did it take for the accusation to turn into formal charges and arrest?
so it took about 2 weeks.
What were
That's
those charges?
the charges were super aggravated sexual assault of a child. And actually, originally it was aggravated sexual assault of a child until a couple weeks later, the DA wanted to upgrade those charges to a charge, I guess, that literally just got passed, where it makes it even more severe when it comes to sentencing,
Right.
if somebody gets convicted with that charge.
What would have been the sentence with a guilty verdict? What were you looking at?
25 to life without parole. So that would mean that you would have to serve that sentence day for day.
Wow. So, how long did the trial last again?
It lasted a total of 7 days.
Total of 7 days. And those of y'all that haven't seen Outcry on Showtime or heard the Maybe God podcast episode with Greg may not know just what a sham the trial was. And we don't have time to go through the
Yeah.
whole thing. I would encourage y'all to watch or listen for yourselves because it was a situation where the victim never identified you by with a picture or in person or in a lineup in any way.
Yeah.
The investigators and the police never considered any other possible suspects, although there were some fairly obvious alternative suspects. There was all kinds of failure along the way in the justice system, and I can only imagine what this was like.
Yeah, I can't. That picture right there is just. I only remember bits and pieces of what was going on there. That was when the guilty verdict got rained down to me,
Right.
and it was it was so much like just. I felt like I was murdered. Me and my family felt like I was murdered right there.
Yeah.
I felt like I was so oppressed. Like I couldn't figure out why this was happening to me and how can you live in America where that can happen to somebody, you
Right.
know? And so that was the beginning of a nightmare for the next 3 years of my life.